Oh, we're all there already. I see people. Welcome back to the Twin Peaks era. Oh, there's a lot of light reflecting here. Laura, Laura. We should like bend her more like that. How's it going? We're talking Twin Peaks. And yes, so I've been trying to contact a friend of mine. Nick, if you're listening, tune in because I got to talk to you. Okay, so as the title says, some people are going to be thinking, is this well, not a spoiler, but is it like what's going on? Is it, should we turn it a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, here, there, a little bit everywhere. Old MacDonald had a Twin Peaks farm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is it, what should I call it? I'm missing the word. Anyway, whatever. I am going to talk about season 4, and I'm going to talk about season 3. So let's begin with season 3. First of all, thank you so much for the incredible energy, commitment, love you've been sending for all the Twin Peaks videos I've been making, because it really means the world to me. I love Twin Peaks so much. It's just a thrill, just such a thrill to have had the opportunity to be alive in a period when where David Lynch still, with Mark Frost, made another Twin Peaks for us. And as you can see behind me, all the soundtracks on vinyl. I also have them on CD, and I've been so old school, guys. I didn't download them. I actually have an old school CD player that I put these in when I'm out and about, and I play them. And since I've been listening to the music a lot, the soundtrack, I've been really kind of getting back into that mood of the show without rewatching every single episode, and it's been giving me like flashbacks of the essence of every episode and what was really important. And a lot of the things that I considered important when I was watching the series, turns out they weren't important after all, like knowing certain things, getting to the conclusion of certain things. Now, I know a lot of people, it's in the nature of human beings to try to. Jan says, wow, you've got a great collection there. Thank you so much. Yeah, they can't all really fit. There's even this one. You can't really see it. This one is there as well. That one too. Damn, you see that? I forget what I'm talking about. What is important, or what seemed important in the beginning, kind of turns out to have a totally different importance afterwards. And these songs now, both on this record, so this is mostly the Roadhouse ending songs of the episodes, even more so than Badalamenti's. Well, this is not just Badalamenti's songs, but mostly Badalamenti's score. They give an explanation, in my personal opinion, to the magic of what is Twin Peaks and the sadness. And literally kind of dawned on me that Twin Peaks The Return, or Twin Peaks Season 3, really represents a lot of loneliness and isolation. And it's almost as if it's showcasing a mirror to us, pointing out how much we've been longing to see it for so many years, waiting 26 years for it to come back. And what the characters are living within Twin Peaks as well, and their isolation and loneliness, and for the most part, incapability to communicate with the people they love, desire, or aspire to. Not all the characters are like that, but most of them. And then we get this scenario where, most of the characters are back and things play out in a very abstract way. Things play out in a very, very, very abstract way. And, a lot of us have been speculating, was it all a dream? Was part of it a dream? Does it make it, is there a logic to it? Did Lynch and Frost really structure a logic that they kind of broke down then when they were developing the script so that they would kind of mess with us? Or is there no structure? Is there no real pattern? Like, what is really going down in Twin Peaks? And I have the feeling, just like one of those traps for animals, like when they, I don't know what the name is, but some traps are built in a way that when you fall into the trap, the more you move and try to break out of it, the tighter the grip of the trap. And the more you wiggle it, the tighter and the tighter and the tighter it gets. And I have the feeling Twin Peaks, The Return, is a little bit that sort of trap mechanism. The more we try to understand it and the more we try to give a meaning to it and logic to it, and the tighter the grip gets, and the less air we have. Andre Villafranca says, I normally don't ask for happy endings, but I don't really know why. I want one of those in Twin Peaks. This series really got to me. Now, Andre, yes, in part, I totally get what you're saying, but listen to this. You want a happy ending, right? It really got to you. Now, Twin Peaks really got to me too. And it got to me in such a way. You know, friends of mine have been telling me, oh, Dacob, you should watch Game of Thrones. I never watched Game of Thrones. I never really cared for Game of Thrones. Really, I don't know why. And I thought to myself always, yeah, you know, and this is arrogant in some ways, but usually I'm right with these things. Something that is a mass product, the whole world loves. Something's wrong with it. It can't, you know what I mean? The masses really don't, I don't know. So, and in fact, I watched Game of Thrones and I was very consequent about it. When I begin something, I finish it. And I watched the 7 seasons within like literally 2 weeks. And when I was done watching it, it was over for me. I never thought of it again. It never crossed, done. 7 full seasons, which is like 7 years. Could have been shot in 1 season, all of it, really. And once it was done, I just never, it was so, you know, banal in a way. Like I could foresee every step of the way. If a character enters through this door and says one sentence, I already anticipate the reaction of the other character. And you kind of know, you realize in which direction things are going, in which direction the story is going. And you start anticipating everything. And it just really becomes boring because you're clever for them, you know. With Twin Peaks, it's different. First of all, once the season was done, I had my depression, and then another week passed, and I had my anger, and another week passed, and I had the resolution, and then I had another week passes, and then you start feeling nostalgia for it, and you want to see it again, and then the soundtrack is released, and you listen to the music, then you experience just the sounds without the images. And you rethink about it again, and it just follows me. I dream about it. I think about it. Lynch has a way, like a hook. His language, his visual language, he anchors himself. He docks himself onto you, and it is. You don't know why. But you keep thinking about it and you want more and you just want more of that. I mean, at this point, I'm not even saying, oh, okay, I want more episodes. The 18 I got, I crave them. Because every time I watch them, I have the feeling I'm falling deeper into Twin Peaks. And it's a beautiful feeling. But I think the key to understanding it, yes, there's amazing, beautiful theories out there. I mean, I've theoreticized myself about a lot of the stuff going down. It's my nature to try to understand things, but it's also my nature to try to really hard to let go of certain things, you know, and just enjoy the moment. And with Twin Peaks, it's the gaze, it's the looks, it's how, you know, Gordon Cole looks at Albert, how Albert looks back, how the log lady sadly just looks slightly downwards in the moment when she's talking with Hawk on the phone. It's the pauses that Lucy makes between 2 sentences, she says, and how she pauses. It's about what is not said. It's about what is not done, but about what our intuition leads us to understand and see and feel. And it's that space that I call the space in between, where Lynch really is most fertile. That's where his soil lands, and that's where he goes digging for creativity. And that's where, when we access that space in between, is where we get hooked to this wonderful world of Twin Peaks. And at the end of the day, you don't even have to ask yourself, was it all a dream or was it not all a dream? Doesn't matter, because it was dreamlike. And being dreamlike makes it so wonderful because it's so concrete. It exists in this world on this digital format as a film, video, movie. And we get to rewatch it over and over and over again. And because it has a dreamlike quality, it makes me giddy because I have the feeling I can relive a dream, which is something you can't really do in reality, because if I wake up from a dream, it's done. I have a memory of it, a vision of it, but I can't really relive it one-to-one as it was while I was dreaming. With Twin Peaks, I get that opportunity, that chance of reliving over and over and over again with all the subtle nuances and differences that I capture in different parts of every episode, with each reviewing of the episode. And those nuances and slight variations of color and tone is just amazing. Atlan says dream within a dream. Exactly. It's just like a dream within a dream, where one of the dreams is offered to you by this incredible visionary human being that makes it with so much dedication and love. Love for other human beings, love for his craft, for his art, so much respect for his craft and art as well, and so much respect for his own intuition. Kidora says, I'd like to stick with you, but I gotta go sleep. Hope y'all have fun. Thank you, Kidora. Have a great night. It, that intuition is incredible. Andres says, I completely understand you, and I feel the same. And even still, I so want for Laura and Cooper to be happy. That's how I feel. That is so sweet of you. Look, I got Laura. And more than ever, is this actual? Who killed Laura Palmer? This is so freaking actual. Like, I also have Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department shirt. Total geek here. But anyway, love my Twin Peaks memorabilia, no matter what it is. Okay, I think Laura Palmer is in a happy place. Vai que adoracia, sleep well. I mean, just the fact that she was created like this in this like golden sphere, and she's sent to the world, to make it a better place, maybe to contrast Bob or not. It's just, it has to end well. Our world is not often very fair, and a lot of people suffer. There's death and there's destruction, and there's so much sadness in this world. Lynch is an artist. He's susceptible to all of those shifts and changes, and he utilizes that with his, language, expression, to deliver to us a mirror of our society. Not for nothing, look how faded the image of Laura is in these woods and trees at the opening of every episode of Twin Peaks. How bleached out it is, desaturated. This to me really depicts kind of also what Twin Peaks was in this season. It was a desaturated Twin Peaks. It was missing that warm heart that the acting, the episodes, the script, the storytelling had in season 1 and 2. But it had that cold heart of Fire Walk With Me. Also not as powerful as it was in Fire Walk With Me, but it was there. And it was a mix of these two worlds. It was like blending Fire Walk With Me and Twin Peaks. And the warmth was given mostly by the music. And let's not forget Nadine, because to me, for those of you who haven't seen, you could check out my, Cooper's pin theory about the parts where Cooper has his pin on and where he doesn't have his pin on, and what does that mean in relationship to actually what happened within the Black Lodge or outside of the Black Lodge, what was in his vision, what was the battle of his soul, and whatnot. But so whatever, let's forget the fact that maybe something was a dream or not a dream. The characters that are most interesting and appealing and attractive and that give us that heart of Twin Peaks: Nadine, Jacoby, Norma, more than Shelley, because Shelley, with the styling that they gave her from time to I felt Mädchen Amick more than Shelley in there, and I saw Riverdale in there, and I saw Witches of East End, was it called there? Shelley wasn't fully there to me, but also because she wasn't given enough maybe screen time. But Nadine was the heart of Twin Peaks. She was the only one that was really there, that I had the feeling, even if I felt a lot of the scenes were like dreams. Hers was a reality, was the reality of Twin Peaks. Like she was really there. Those scenes with Nadine were really happening in Jacoby, and maybe even Nadine and Ed. And as I'm listening every day and re-listening to these songs, you know, especially from this one here, and with every re-listen, I get to understand it more and more emotionally. And there's a reason why, you know, the Roadhouse songs happened, even though sometimes while we were, you know, seeing them, it felt. Nick is there. Hi, Nick. I actually wrote you, Nick. I wrote you on Instagram, but you didn't answer because I wanted to ask you a couple of questions prior to shooting, but been busy all day. Finally got home. Okay, Nick. Well, I wanted to ask you about I'm not going to say what here. I don't know if you want me to talk about it, but what you forwarded to me, if we should make a video about that and if we should read that together or not. And I also wanted to ask you about the photos you sent me. Can I talk about the photos? Say yes or not. I'm not going to show the photo, but because people are watching and I think they might be interested in the news that I want to deliver to them in regards to possibilities for season 4. But I was waiting for Nick before I actually delivered the goods. And now that Nick is online, he can tell me if I can talk about a photo he made. So while we're waiting for Nick to tell us yes or no. Oh, Nick says yes. Thank you so much, Nick. You know, I'm very discreet and very respectful. If you don't want me to say it, I won't. So Nick sent me, I know, Andre's like, season 4, what? Listen, guys, now, I was warning you at the beginning of this video. Don't like jump into, oh my God, clickbait. He says season 4, but it's not about whether or not I'm sure season 4 is going to happen or not. In my bones, I feel it's going to happen. And I can tell you it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. But let's talk about some facts. Now, you were saying, or some of you are very sad that Laura Palmer ended the way it ended. I don't think it was a bad ending after all. It was so beautiful to spend that time with Cooper and Laura. And I think her screaming at the end, nothing is over. Everything is transforming and moving. And it's so beautiful. That's how life is. But this is what I want to say. Nick sent me a photo. And this photo was taken a couple of hours ago, maybe yesterday. I'm going to show it to you guys. I mean, you were alerted about spoilers. Now, this is the home where they shot, you know, the Dougie scenes, right? This is Dougie's house. It's sealed off. It's sealed off, you know, like you can't really access it. It's one of those rare places that's it's still sealed off. They're keeping it as is. Why would it need to be sealed off if everything is done with? Why is this house off limits still today? You know, why? Nick says, I would love to see you talk about the question I sent you, all 301. We could make a video. So, okay, so Nick basically, he's an incredible fan of Twin Peaks and David Lynch, and he has an incredible insight into every detail about Twin Peaks. He's like literally like a student of, you know, like a knowledgeable person, like a living biography, a living encyclopedia of all things Twin Peaks. So he created this incredible list of questions per episode, and they add up to be 301 questions that are unanswered in his opinion about Twin Peaks. And he sent me the list, so now he gave me permission to read it. So I'll make another video soon where I will make the video just about the 301 questions, and we can debate about that together. So if you guys are interested, tune in pretty soon. We're gonna make the Twin Peaks 301 questions about Twin Peaks by Nick. So that photo is very interesting to me. The fact that it's sealed off. Another thing that is very interesting to me is that a lot of the actors still are kind of tight-lipped about what's going on. What are they allowed to say? What they're not allowed to say. The fact that David Lynch himself, you know, stated in an interview, what was it, the Belgrade Film Festival or something like that, that he's like, yeah, I'm open to new Twin Peaks, but just be warned, guys, it took me 5 years to make season 3. So it ain't gonna happen tomorrow with season 4. I'm gonna need some time for season 4. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You know, I'm patient. If I know it's happening, I can be very patient. So there's that. And then we have this concept of what I mentioned before, of season 1 and 2, with its own aesthetical language, with its own storytelling language. And then we have the aesthetic of Fire Walk with Me and its own aesthetical language and storytelling language. And they kind of merge into a season 3. To me personally, the logic, and this could be a subconscious logic as well, is like when you merge these two creatures, to me, the result is not season 3. Mind you, season 3 to me feels like they're merging. It's the act of unity, for lack of a better word, which we cannot use on YouTube. Their child should be season 4. Season 3 felt rough in many ways and felt cold in many ways because it had that residue of Fire Walk with Me. And the warmth that we felt was the Twin Peaks season 1 and 2. And it kept kind of like throwing us off the grid. It's slapping us in our face, and it kind of kept us guessing. Where is it heading to? What's going on? Why are things not going in the way that we thought they were going? They're not heading in that way. Lynch and Frost are opening parentheses and they're not closing them. They keep adding new parentheses, they're not closing them. Well, because I envisioned this as this humongous act of love between these two worlds of season 1, 2, the movie, and it's all happening right now, and we're witnessing it as it's going down, right? And then the result and the birth, what comes later, to me, is it going to be season 4? It's like a total logical consequence of it. And then we're going to get, and I'm sure about this, season 4 will be the love child. You know, it will be a beautiful blend of both of these worlds. It's like they will learn to deal with one another. They will learn to blend into one another more smoothly in a beautiful way. And I think with the knowledge of the reaction of how season 3 was received, you know, Lynch and Frost are watching, they are listening. I'm sure they are. And if not them personally, they have people for them that are definitely communicating to them all of our thoughts, and, you know, all the people that are big fans of what they are thinking and saying about it. And I do believe that they are learning from this a lot. Whether they wish to acknowledge it or not is a different issue, but they're learning from it a lot. And I think that a season 4, it's good if it comes not immediately, but after a little bit of time has passed, because it will deliver something spectacular, because it will really deliver a maturity that they would have gained from all the knowledge and experimentation and growth that they've, you know, David and Mark, that they have went through with season 1, season 2, and Fire Walk with Me. The movie, now I know Mark wasn't in Fire Walk with Me. It doesn't matter though. Mark was in season 3. And season 3 is Mark's Fire Walk with Me, if you think about it. You know, it's his getting accustomed to the world of Fire Walk with Me, blending in with Twin Peaks. If you think about it, it makes sense. It's logical. And it would be an unfinished story without touching base on the storylines, the plot lines of the individual characters of Twin Peaks. Without touching base on that, it would just have a logical progression to give us a result of the blending of all of these worlds. And that would make for a beautiful finale, if there ever were to be a need for a finale. I do believe Twin Peaks can go on even without David Lynch. He has set a very clear footprint on Twin Peaks, on what it is, what it represents, the mythology behind it, the structure within it, you know, the key aspects of it, the language of it. So I do believe that there are incredible directors out there, storytellers out there, and writers out there that respect and love the Twin Peaks so much that they would definitely deliver something incredible for the future of Twin Peaks. And I do wish they do. And I do wish that it keeps going on once we're all long gone. We're not going to live forever, but I hope that Twin Peaks does in some way, form, or shape. But let me read the comment. Oh, Nick said that the grass from the photo he took at Dougie's place was also looking good too. Andres said, I hope you're right. Season 4 should deliver a more positive vibe. Also, would you like to find out that Judy isn't exactly bad and that she can and wants to be redeemed or become a positive force? I have hypothesized this and speculated that Judy, in fact, is not an evil entity. She's a negative force in a way, and it has to contrast the positive force. Positive isn't always good, and negative isn't always evil. Positive is positive, negative is negative. But you know what I mean? We have to understand how to attribute positivity or negativity. You know, a magnet has a positive and a negative side, but it's one piece. It's one magnet, and it's who's the negative side of the magnet is just the minus, but it doesn't mean it's evil. So to me, Judy is way more complex than a lot of people are trying to sell her off as being. I don't think Judy is that simple of a creature, character, being, energy field, whatever you want to call this Judy concept within Twin Peaks. I think she's way more faceted and layered than one is led to believe. So I do believe that Judy, if we were to reduce her to good or evil, then in that case, yes, she can be redeemed. But I don't think she needs to be redeemed because I think there's way more to Judy than meets the eye, Andre said, oh, I saw that video. Great video, by the way. I want Judy to be that complex entity. Want more than anything. I want to know and understand her motivations. Right. But I don't even know if a creature like Judy even has herself or itself an understanding of certain motivations. I think she just is. She just exists in all these realms, in all these realities or post-real realities, if you want, I just feel Lynch loves Laura Palmer so much, and he really wanted her to live in some way, shape, or form. And Carrie Page, we've debated this before. She carries that missing page. She's the missing page of the library, of the whole entire library of the diary. She's like alive, but she's sad. There's a sadness to her. There's a sadness to this new Cooper that exited the lodge, that has the evil Cooper inside of him, the doppelganger and Dougie, they're all inside. There's a sadness to him. There's a sadness to Laura. There's a silence to them. Isolation, solitude. But that's our life. That's who we are. It's sad because Lynch is literally showing us a mirror to today's society, today's day and age. Like, we are lonely, isolated creatures living mostly in this era of internet and social media, and everybody can just invent their own self in front of other people, create your own reality, make people believe you're something that you're not, make them dream about living your life. It's totally crazy. It's bananas. Lynch is an artist. Let's not forget that, first and foremost. And it's in his nature to analyze society, social structures. He is, whether he wants to admit it or not, I believe he's really showing to us the mirror of today's society. That's what Twin Peaks represents to me. And yes, society was more naive, was more down to earth in the 90s. We had wars in the 90s. We had corruption in the 90s as well. I'm not saying those were better times, but they were simpler times. Technology was simpler than it is today. And that reflects within the Twin Peaks of yesterday as juxtaposed to the Twin Peaks of today. And I'm sure the Twin Peaks of tomorrow is going to be different yet again. Nick says, I want to know about the mother, the thing in the glass box, the mother vomiting up Bob. Gloria says, hi, Dick. Oh, hi, Gloria. Hi, everybody. When did the video start? It started 30 minutes ago. Um, so Nick, the mother figure to me again is the experiment. She's Judy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of she's a lot of these things at the same time. Um, I do believe that perhaps with this vision of this glass box and trying to capture that it was perhaps maybe the doppelganger or evil Cooper that we don't know. It might be some totally different character yet. But he was photographed, evil Cooper was photographed in New York in the room with the glass box. That he really tried to catch Judy. That he tried to understand the essence of Judy. That he tried to understand who is Judy, what is Judy. And that was maybe perhaps one of those traps built to try to hold her, to keep her, to catch her, to trap her. I don't know. Maybe, maybe it really wasn't the case at all. Maybe Lynch and Frost had a totally different thing in mind. So, I'm not going to go there too much because it could mean a lot of different things. But fact is that creature in the glass box did look a lot like this Bob spewing creature in episode 8. A lot of people take for granted that Judy is inside Sarah Palmer. Of this, I have never been sure. And still to this day, I'm not convinced that Judy is inside Sarah. I don't buy that theory. I really don't. Nick Apostolopoulos. Hi, how you doing? I'm rewatching season 1, and yesterday I noticed that it's Leland Palmer in season 1 breaking the frame with the picture of Laura, just like Sarah did in season 3. Well, yeah, but once he breaks it, he cries. I mean, very, very tricky, very, very difficult. If you analyze Sarah Palmer's behavior in season 1 and 2, you might think, oh, Judy was in her, if you believe that Judy's in her. But then again, we know that she was drugged by Leland, who was possessed by Bob. So Leland didn't want Sarah to figure out what he was doing to his daughter. He wanted to keep Sarah under control. So we don't know how much of this Sarah really knew, how much of this Sarah really let happen to herself, and how much of it was something that was controlling her back then already. But then I ask myself, why would somebody like a good creature, like this here, this gold ball, Laura, why would she be sent into a family of corruption? Why would she be sent to spend her life with a mother that has this evil blackness inside of her and a father that is literally still a kid inside and never grew up because he let that demon possess him when he was a child and take over him and kind of, you know, abuse him? Why would the fireman send Laura inside that constellation? It's beyond me. You know what I mean? It's really beyond me, because to balance out evil? Yeah, but there's other ways of balancing out evil. It's not just like, I mean, if Judy really isn't Sarah, if Sarah didn't have Laura as a kid, then why have the kid? A lot of people have been speculating, well, Sarah wanted a kid with a Bob Leland, a Bob-eyed Leland, in order to create the devil's spawn. But we're talking about Lynch and Mark Frost here. They wouldn't do something so simple. A lot of the things Lynch does is very simple and very basic, but in a very, very beautiful way. Like for example, how simple a tree can be. A tree is very complex, but the beauty of a tree, or of a sunset, or rays of light, like that's simple in its beauty, but it's very complex in its natural appearance. You know what I mean? It delivers a deeper truth and a deeper meaning. Of course, there's the reverse of the medal. I mean, not the reverse of the medal, but there's another type of simplicity, which is very simple storylines that really don't go deeper. And I don't think Lynch is about that. He might touch base on something simple and superficial, but just leave it at that, because it is simple and superficial. Like, let's move on. I'm not even going to solve it for you guys, like he would kind of try to communicate to us, and then he would move on. So that's a very fascinating aspect, I think, to take in consideration, that why would the fireman send the gold ball Laura to that sort of constellation? Now, I know other people have been analyzing when the golden ball flies from the giant's lair into the world we see it, the little ball. People have been like calculating in which direction towards America was it going. It wasn't going towards Twin Peaks. It was going towards Odessa. So the gold ball landed in Odessa. So when the fireman, created the golden ball, it was already sent to Odessa. That was already the rewinding of the time, or the fast forwarding of the time, because as Mike, the one-armed man, tells us already at the beginning, is it future, is it past? We don't know if parts of season 3 are actually, and this is bringing me to another point why I do believe firmly that we're going to get a season 4. We don't know if parts of season 3 are actually playing in season 4. Why wouldn't they be? They might as well. They could. So I'm not sure the golden ball was sent to, the Laura Palmer golden sphere was sent to Odessa or to Twin Peaks or somewhere totally different. I also think it's irrelevant to the cause, and I also don't think Laura Palmer is this only one entity. There could be several essences of Laura Palmer within the world, and different depictions and creations of her, sending hope to the world through the evil world trying to corrupt her and her soul. So Laura always ends up in difficult situations. She's always sad and angry and can be very aggressive. She's a very sad person at the end of the day. I mean, in Fire Walk With Me, and also what we get to see of her in Twin Peaks, season 1 and 2, there's a sadness to Laura, something that only the biggest divas of Hollywood have, It's like Marilyn Monroe. When I see Laura Palmer, I see Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn also always had that sadness to her. When you see Marilyn in candid photos, any sort of photos, even in movies, there's that twinkle in her eye that's slightly off. There's that shine. It almost looks like she's just about to cry. Always with Marilyn, you always had that sadness deep down inside of her soul. And they say the eyes are the doors to the soul. And with Marilyn, as fabulous and beautiful and glamorous as she was, it's that sadness hiding, lurking in her own darkness that ultimately creates the diva. Laura is the ultimate diva. By diva, in fact, I'm very specific here. I don't mean some nasty, person who's just very demanding, very spoiled. No. I mean diva in the true meaning of a diva, with the tragedy that comes with being a very, very important figure that ends tragically. You need that aspect in your life in order to be a diva. Romy Schneider, huge diva. Nick asks if I watched American Gods. It's a beautifully shot show. Yes, I have. Gloria says, Nick, oh yeah. So there might be several Lauras, and they might all end up in very difficult situations because they're like filters in this world of evil, and they're purifying the world from evil, and hence they get dirty while they filter through all the negative. It's all possible. It's all possible. But more than ever, is this a relevant question? Who killed Laura Palmer? We thought we knew, but we don't know. We never really knew who killed Laura Palmer. Like, to me, it's still an unanswered question, and we need a season 4. And even in season 4, we would not get an answer to the question who killed Laura Palmer. I'm telling you, we'll never figure it out. But Lynch wanted her back, and she's back. She's alive, whether in the future or in the past, under a different name. The reasons to the naming doesn't matter, but she's back, and she can't just return in such a cliffhanger without there being a season 4. So this is another reason why I believe there's going to be season 4. So you see, I've been sprinkling throughout this entire video all the reasons I think there has to be a season 4, and there will be. Trust you me, there will be. Nick says, unfortunately, I got to go. I will message you later about a few questions I have. Okay, great. Nick, so we can already say it now, guys. Probably tomorrow, somewhere throughout the day, I will make another Twin Peaks video where I will read Nick's 301 questions. This is going to be an incredible intense video. We're going to go together through the 301 questions that Nick has prepared from Twin Peaks: The Return, season 3. Literally, he has listed them per episode. So there's questions per episode, and they're very fascinating questions. And I think this is going to be a very good video for all of us to kind of deal with together. You know, Nick Apostolopoulos says you better have your sycamore to toilet on, huh? I will. I'm going to have. Actually, where is it? It should be here. Give me a second. We have it. Sycamore. It's always the best. And okay, let's spray some on. There. Wow, this one is always so amazing. So yeah, let's make the video tomorrow. What do you think, guys? Is everybody in for it? You can send me a heart. Yeah, heart to you too. So guys, should we do it tomorrow? Does anybody have time? We're going to read 301 questions about Twin Peaks: The Return. And for now, this video was about focusing on the emotions, the sadness, the isolation, the solitude of season 3. And to me personally, what season 3 at the end of the day really means, what it really means, it's a mirror. It shows us where we are, where we stand right now. And when the fireman says to Cooper, he says, "You are far away." You know, at the beginning, first episode, this Agent Cooper, "You are far away." He's telling us we are so far. We're far away from that Twin Peaks from the 90s, because that naive, fun little loving place is not naive anymore. It's been corrupted. It's been through a lot, and it's grown up. And it's been through difficult breakups, and it's lost some of its incredible inhabitants, lovers, family members, you know. And there's pain. There's more pain now than there was back then. And there's going to be even more in the next season. But we are closer back to Twin Peaks now, you know. We are far away from ourselves. I think we have to really mirror this beautiful season 3 as and see it for what it is. It's a message. It's a love message to us to try to come back to our own roots, to ourselves, to what is important and fundamental in life, you know, respect, love. You know, I always end my videos by saying never give up on love, but I think that's what a lot about what season 3 is all about. Literally trying to find a way back to love. It's as simple as that. And there is where you see what I mean when I say David Lynch can also be very simple, but in a very deep way. I think there's such a simple message as finding your way back to love. It's so simple, but so difficult to accept, to acknowledge, to process, to digest, and to live. And really, you know, letting love in is something that ultimately, if you let go of all your preconceived notions and you have that love and you rewatch season 3, you understand it. You will cry throughout the whole show because you will realize how blinded we all were. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, this is what I truly believe. Beyond all the theories of what it meant moving from A to B and this and that, forget all that and go deeper, dig deeper. It's all about love. Anyway, Andres says 100%. Gloria says, yes, Super Dacob. I think there are several explanations to that line. You're far away. Interesting. Yeah, you are far away. We are all so far away, but oh so close. We have never been so close like we are now. Remember this. What I tell you will turn out to be true. You will get your ring back after what I tell you turns out to be true. There will be a season 4 of Twin Peaks. Audrey will be back. Donna will return. And we will find out how Annie is. There you have it, guys. The fireman has spoken, and what he says, you know it's going to turn out to be true. Eileen says cracking up. But no, seriously, I'm doing this editing course, and I wake up really early every morning, and I get ready to go to, I'm learning Avid Media Composer, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere. We're doing After Effects, color grading, and I'm dealing with analysis of a lot of films and movies from the past. And it's just I'm back to school basically. But every morning I wake up really early in the morning, and I have my, morning routine. I get ready to go to school, to class, and I listen to the Twin Peaks soundtrack. And it really sets the tone. One day I alternated. Like one day I listened to the Badalamenti heavy. I listened to this one, and then the other day, then I listened to this one, and I kind of alter them. I switch them up, and they put me in a certain state of mind, but also they just catapult me back into the episodes, and it's just so beautiful to relive them through my memory. Really, to relive the memory of those episodes is so beautiful, and it's so magical. And Lynch has that power to really anchor himself and hook himself into your soul, and he doesn't let go. He does not let go, and it's amazing. And that's why I love Twin Peaks so much. Nick says Avid is definitely the best of the three of Final Cut Pro and Adobe. Yes, of course, it's the most professional, I know, but it's interesting to learn the differences between the three, because I want to learn as much as possible about everything, so that whenever because I'm editing a lot for my own work, so if I encounter editors, I'm more directing, but I want to be able to communicate properly with all the people I work with. So if I have an editor that likes to work with Final Cut, I want to be able to understand them, to understand their technicalities. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the type of person just do it. I don't care how you do it. No, I want to sit next to a person. I want to understand the struggles. I want to understand the limitations. And I also want to understand what plus sides every app, program, software, whatever has. You know what I mean? But of course, Avid is amazing. I'm just editing a project now on Avid, and it's just thrilling to work with Avid, for sure, for sure. Gloria says ending. Ending to what? Melinda says, I didn't get noticed, but hi. Oh, Melly, yeah, you're a bit late. We're about to end it now. Andres says, what are your thoughts on what Laura whispered to Cooper? Oh, that's I said this way before season 3 began. And right after season 3 began, I repeated it, and I said, listen. And a lot of people gave me so much slack for it. And I said this back in May, after analyzing the first 4 episodes, because I watched them all together. I said, for all we know, in one of the realities, and you could just rewatch that video I made for reference. For all we know, Laura could be in one of these realities in a loop, whispering to Cooper in his ear over and over and over and over again. It's like a hell. It's like whispering in his ear over and over and over again, who killed her, or some truth, or some reality, or with every whisper she gives him, she whispers something even a deeper truth, a scarier truth, a more harmful truth. But I envision her as forever whispering in his ear, trying to let him know the evil that men do, that people do. And there's so much of it. It never ends. We're never going to stop being evil. And that's why his face is so kind of shocked, I think, because more than telling him one particular fact, like what happens in season 2 when she says, my father killed me, I think now it's become more universal truth. I think now the whispering has become more of a pain, eradicated truth that is painful, and she's passing it on to him, and it hurts. I think that's what she delivers. It's not really what exactly she says. It's about the energy that she transmits to him as she is sharing that energy. She connects with him in that moment when she whispers. It's such an intimate moment between two people, because what happens when you whisper something so close to the ear of a person, you're sharing something deeper about yourself or about somebody else or something that you know that nobody's allowed to know, but you're sharing it intimately with somebody that you trust in that moment so much. So you entrust that person with something that is not supposed to be told or said. So start analyzing it from this perspective. That's how I do it, at least. And you're going to come to the conclusion that it really doesn't matter what she says to him. What does matter is that she trusts him, and that she entrusts him with her pain, the sorrow, with all that she has been kind of given, all the crosses that she's been given to bear in her existence. She entrusts him with them. I think that's what she whispers to him. Andre says, I understand the concept. It makes sense. Again, I hope Cooper and her can find true peace. I hope so too, but I don't think there is peace, really, you know. But don't see this as a negative. Oh, Nick is back. Hi, Nick. I don't think this is a negative thing. I think there is no peace because the way I envision peace is total stillness, absence of life, absence of movement. They say rest in peace after you die because they believe the body just, it rests in peace. But in a dynamic universe as ours is, there is no peace. You cannot find peace. Laura is an energy force. She is electrons, neutrons, molecules. Look closely inside of this ball. This is a galaxy. This is space. She is an energy force. She cannot know peace, for if she knew peace, she would be annihilated. She would not exist. She needs dynamic, she needs the absence of that stillness and that peace in order to exist. And that's what's so amazing about Twin Peaks and what tickles me so much about it, because the more, you know, I want her to be happy because Lynch gave her, that's the beautiful duality within Laura Palmer, you see. She is that Marilyn Monroe figure. She has that sadness twinkling in her eye, even when she's smiling and she's happy and she's the homecoming queen and everybody loves her so much. She has that tragedy there, that sadness there. And that's also the, you know, the absence of, she's not just a homecoming queen who had it all in her life, peacefully got married to a rich guy, whatever, had kids. No, she's an energy force field or a force of nature. So she is power, you know, she is energy, she is movement. That means that she cannot find peace. But so the tragedy of her, and Lynch puts her in this position of us wanting her to be happy because we also wanted Marilyn to be happy. Whenever you watch a movie, documentary about Marilyn, you get so sad because she was so unhappy. The system abused her, used her. You know, they earned millions off of her. And she was so sad. She could not find the real love. She could not find acceptance. She was always judged for so many reasons, for all the wrong reasons on top of it all. And we wanted her to be happy, but it didn't end well. The moment she found peace was the moment she disappeared forever. And I think Laura, you know, being not just human, but being this entity, we're shattered in a way because we want her to have peace. But in order for Laura Palmer and Twin Peaks to exist, you know, she cannot get that peace. So we are constantly torn, and it's like, oh my God, it's exhausting us because we want both. And so that's why I also say in other videos of mine, we are the ones balancing out the forces of the good and evil of everything within Twin Peaks. We are the ones keeping it together. We are the glue, ultimately. You know what I mean? And Laura cannot find peace if we want her to be Laura. She will be in constant evolution. And that makes it so beautiful because this will also allow us to have so many other amazing stories and adventures with her. And that gives me peace, because you know why? Because ultimately that makes me feel she will always be there for us. So it gives me peace, even though it's an egotistical thing, because I know she won't get peace. But I have a lot of respect for Laura. I don't want her to suffer either. But I understand why there's so much dynamic action, and that's not always positive in her surroundings and in her life. So yeah. Andre says, you believe they'll perpetually be struggling in life. I see. Lynch is really playing with us. He's pretty good. Yeah, she'll be perpetually struggling in life. But that's because, Andre, honestly, what is our life? We perpetually struggle in life. Again, Lynch is just showing you the mirror. We are literally from day-to-day basis. You gotta pay the rent. You gotta earn the money to buy food. You're struggling in relationships. You want somebody you fancy very much to fancy you back or to love you back. You have children. You would give your life to make them happy and to raise them well and to give them all the happiness in the world. Every step of the way is a struggle. But don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that struggle necessarily means negative or evil. What struggle is literally, you have to, there's something in your way you gotta push in order to move forward. Or let's say, in order to, for me to complete my video editing course, I have to struggle because I have to learn something that I don't know yet. So I have to be dedicated to it. I have to spend my 8 hours a day learning, repeating, exercising. And it's a struggle because I have other things to do. You know, in my nature, I would love to do other things, to spend my time doing other things. But I'm going through this struggle because ultimately I want to come to another place and be somewhere else. And then when I get to that other place, then from then on, I'm going to have another struggle because I'm going to learn something else yet again. But what I want to say, the struggle is vital. It is necessary. It is important for this energy core and essence of Laura Palmer to keep living. And not every struggle is going to turn out good. Not every struggle is going to turn out evil. Not every struggle will be positive, but not every struggle will be negative either, you know? It's an evolution. And that's the beauty of Twin Peaks. It evolves, and we evolve with it. And that's why this show keeps me thinking and guessing, unlike other TV shows where I don't feel an evolution. I don't think I'm evolving with them. I don't think they're evolving with me. I don't think I'm any better of a person because I saw them. I don't think the show is any better off me having watched it. With Twin Peaks, I have the feeling I'm a better person after I watched it. It enriched me. It gave me food for my soul. It made me think. Laura made me think. David made me, Mark made me think, all the characters, the songs made me think, the plot lines, the camera movements, the stillness, the silence, the scenes, the shots that are just so long before there's a cut, you know, just like everything makes me think. And whatever makes me think makes me grow. So obviously I cannot be today who I was when Twin Peaks season 1 and season 2 was aired for the first time. So obviously, if I can't be that same person, how can Twin Peaks be that same show? How can Laura Palmer be that same character? We've all evolved. We've all grown. And so has she. Gloria says, the only thing for Cooper to avoid, that would be to go back in the 1950s and save Leland from being possessed, abused by Bob. I'd like to see that. Melinda says, it's hard to watch anything else. Oh, it's so hard to watch anything else. I mean, you know me, you follow me on Twitter. On Twitter, I have my Twitter rants where I talk about all these TV shows I'm trying to watch because now all the seasons, the new seasons and the pilots, it's pilot season. A lot of them are being aired. And I watch all of them. I really watch all of them. And it's just, you know, some are entertaining, some I love to watch for aesthetical reasons because I love the character, but none of them are Twin Peaks. None of them. They just, they don't get me like Twin Peaks gets me. They just don't, you know? Gloria says, Laura will never find peace, even when Coop saves her from being killed, or whoever she becomes. She'll always come to a point where she remembers all the sufferings she went through. Melinda says, I've been trying your recommendations, but not satisfied. Yeah, I mean, listen, my recommendations are there just to like kill time. I say, I love to watch Outlander. It's a beautiful TV show, but when the episode ends, it's over. It's not like I go back to it. No, I don't. Um, I love The Last Man on Earth, but I don't go back to it once I've seen it. I love Family Guy, American Dad. I love Orville, the new interpretation of Star Trek that Seth MacFarlane is doing. I love Orville, love it. But it's just entertaining. Some topics are thought-provoking, but it doesn't anchor itself onto me, like into my heart, my soul, my guts, like Twin Peaks does. Yeah. Nick says, do you find Laura Palmer wig and Fire Walk With Me attractive? I find everything about Laura attractive. And actually, the faker they make her, oh my God, the Laura Palmer, the faker they make her, the more I love her, shake her. The faker they make her, I love that there's that artificiality about her. I love that. I love that adds another layer of mystery. Whether or not they wanted that wig to look fake or not, irrelevant. Really irrelevant. What I love is the fact that it adds that layer of mystery on top of it. Something is, because it makes you aware of the fact that something is slightly off. Something is not right. And it's just a little bit off. And it keeps you looking and guessing, it keeps you, it irritates you, but in a productive way. And so, yes, to me, that wig is attractive in terms of thought-provoking attraction. It doesn't make her more or less pretty or beautiful, and not in that way attractive, but attractive is in thought-provoking. Melinda says, Twin Peaks is like true love, Yeah, or the first love. It's so true. Twin Peaks was my first television love. It really was. It really was. And it forever will be. I'm going to die loving Twin Peaks. I know my life has been marked by David Lynch. Every time I have an artistic endeavor, I'm very much inspired by it. I'm not afraid to say it. Even my Inside Sycamore, for those of you who don't know, I'm doing like a experimental short film, really like short episode YouTube series or short film series that I'm showing on YouTube, but it's not made for YouTube, but I'm showing it on YouTube. We're now at episode 6. There are like 3 to 6 minute episodes each. And Inside Sycamore, of course, it's heavily inspired by David Lynch and Mark Frost. But not in terms of me trying to emulate it or copy it. It's just that I was raised watching Twin Peaks. It marked me for life. It's my language. It's a part of my language. It's a part of me. It's, and I always have to laugh when people say like, oh, that's very David Lynch. You're very Lynch. I'm like, yeah, he taught me how to talk. By talking, I meant my artistic expression. Like your parents teach you how to use words. He taught me how to use different layers of communication to express myself. It's a language. It's literally a language, and I'm so grateful to that, and also, of course, I'm burdened by it because it's such a powerful language. Once you know it, once you've experienced that language, there's no going back. You can't not have it anchored in you. It's always there, even subconsciously. It's going to affect your aesthetical choices. It's going to affect your language, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong about that. It's a language that I felt belonged to me. It's a part of my soul. And I treasure that, and I'm so grateful that I can carry on the torch of this Lynchian language in any sort of way. And if I have, just a couple people who appreciate it and love it for what it is, I'm already happy. I'm not here, I'm not trying to be the viral going person of the moment here. Atlan says, I saw it. I saw Inside Sycamore, I guess you want to say. The hospital scene brought me to tears. Memories of when I spent the whole summer with my grandmother before she passed away. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I remember, Atlan. You also mentioned to me that you thumbed down a video of mine some time ago because it brought back bad memories, and you didn't want to. You were so sweet. You apologized to me. You're like, I'm not thumbing it down because I don't like it. I love it, but I'm thumbing it down because it's a topic I don't want to touch, and I just want to remember myself to not watch that video because I don't want to cry. I remember everything. I have the memory of an elephant, which sometimes comes in handy. A lot of the times is a burden because not forgetting anything so important means I have a lot of luggage to carry around, and I carry a lot of luggage around. Political Sloth says, holy cow, these albums, I'm jealous. What the hell? Oh, don't be jealous. Nick says, have you seen the Dior commercial Lynch did with Marion Cotillard? So awesome. Of course I have. I'm the one who's defending. That's why I say fashion belongs to Lynch. When people make fun of me that I also love fashion, I'm like, people that love Twin Peaks, they're like, oh, what the hell? I'm gonna unsubscribe now. I subscribe for David Lynch stuff, like for Twin Peaks, and now I have to watch a Chanel video. It has nothing to do with Lynch. I'm unsubscribing. And then I always tell people, really, you know nothing about Lynch and his language if you don't know his fashion things videos. And sometimes he does say in interviews that he did a lot of those videos and ads and commercials because he needed the money. But a lot of them are done with so much love and passion. They're so beautifully made that and yes, I have seen the Marion Cotillard, the Lady Dior bag video. It's incredible. It's like a scene that came out of Twin Peaks or Inland Empire. It's a wonderful mystery. You should see the full cut version, like 15 to 20 minutes long. This was when John Galliano was still artistic director at Christian Dior. Those are amazing times. And that video is incredible. And Lynch and fashion, they go hand in hand. And Lynch knows fashion. Lynch also, for what car did he make a commercial? Did he make a commercial for the smart car? For the Swatch smart car? No, for a Toyota or something. For some brand of car, he also made a very weird, also very blue, like the blue rose case, a Hyundai or something commercial. Nick has asked, have you seen On the Air, the Mark and David made? Yes, I have. Nick says, yeah, he does. Bob haircut, haha. Right. So I mentioned this Bob haircut. Again, nobody really wanted to talk about it. When I mentioned it in the first video, when I saw Diane Evans, for the first time from her back, I was like, Bob haircut. This is going to be a character that's very complicated. She turns around, Laura Dern. Nissan Micra, Philip says. Yes, thank you. It was the Nissan Micra, yes. And of course, it was all about blue. David, his language repeats itself throughout. Now I lost track. So what were we talking about? What were we talking about? I forgot. What was I talking about? Guys, help me out here. I lost track when I read the Nissan Micra comment. Sorry, I lost it. Marion Cotillard. Oh, Bob haircut, right. So Diane Evans, oops, we just fainted together with Lynch. So Diane Evans, when I saw the Bob haircut, and I'm losing all my holding devices here. So when I saw her and the Bob haircut, I was like, okay, but I know fashion and I know the history of fashion. So everything is falling down. I knew immediately that was a Vidal Sassoon haircut that was done in the 60s, Sorry guys, I'm just looking for something that I lost, which is supposed to help us. No, whatever. Now we're all crooked, doesn't matter. So I'm gonna have to stand up a bit higher. I knew Vidal Sassoon in the 60s created the bob haircut. I knew it was called the bob haircut. I knew it was a wig, obviously, whatever, because we know Laura Dern doesn't have that hair. But I understood why. And the bob does play a role. And in fact, turns out we were right, you know, the tulpa situation, the doppelganger situation, whatever have you, the many facets of Diane, indirectly in some way was connected to Bob. Gloria says, now I'm figuring out Bob with a bob haircut, LOL. But Gloria, you watched my videos. You knew that, girl. Did you forget? Come on, I know you know. You knew, no? He's like, now I'm figuring out Bob with a bob haircut. Oh, or you're thinking about Bob with a bob hair? Oh, girl, okay, no, I get it. So you're envisioning actually Frank Silva with a bob haircut? That would be so cute, though. Maybe we should, like, oh my God, we're falling again. Falling, and I don't mean the song. Okay, I don't know why. Why is this not... What's wrong with this gidget of a machine? Somebody should, like, Photoshop a bob haircut on Frank Silva. That would be amazing. Melinda's asking, have I watched Rear Window Hitchcock? Yes. Eileen says, speaking of haircuts, your looks so suave. Well, thank you. Oh, wait, let me put it. So look, this is like the haircut goes like this, right? And there's a fade here. We fade from nothing to like, and then we have the length. Here we also have a fade. Andrea says, I'm very objective about Twin Peaks. I'm trying to find the science behind it. I know it's not the proper way to perceive this series, but I do it. It's also beautiful to see it from a different angle. No, Andre, you're actually doing exactly the right thing. You see, this series awoke in you that need. That's your mirror to deal with. You know what I mean? Like that's your goal with this series. It awoke in you that need to go into that direction. And that's totally legit. And it's the right way. It's the right approach for you. And nobody is allowed to tell you that that's wrong. You know what I mean? Melinda says, Jeffries is main character of that movie. Yes. But listen, but we know that Lynch loves Hitchcock. I mean, it's so obvious, you know? I mean, for those of you who haven't seen, you could check out my video about Vertigo, Hitchcock and David Lynch, and how about the fact that, you know, we have a character called Judy, we have a character called Madeline, and Madeline and Judy happen to be the same person, coincidentally, in the movie. And the identities are swapped, but it's the same person, and we go from a brunette to a blonde. You know, it's all a language, just like we are influenced by David Lynch. Well, now I'm influenced by Hitchcock and Lynch. Obviously, I was raised on both of them, but Lynch was influenced by Hitchcock's language, and he further developed it and found other ways to express himself. You know, I'm influenced by Lynch, but not just by Lynch. There's a lot of artists, designers, directors that have influenced me very, very much. Pedro Almodovar is an incredible filmmaker who has influenced my aesthetical choices quite a bit. Pedro Almodovar. Okay, I know this is a Lynch topic video, but since we're at it, I can tell you this, guys. So I apologize if you're not really into Pedro, but one of the movies that inspires me the most, and this might give you kind of a key into understanding a bit more my Inside Sycamore decision-making process. Watch, and I've said this in the past, but if you get an opportunity, watch a movie called High Heels from 1991. You watch a movie called High Heels by Pedro Almodovar, and you're going to understand so much more about Dacob, Super Dacob, the fashion bunker, my choices, my aesthetical choice. There's a key in that movie. There's several keys. Listen, 1991. The daughter in the movie wears only Chanel. The mother wears Armani. Chanel 1991, 1992 is a key factor to my aesthetics. Melinda says, wait, I saw that. I will rewatch all Inside Sycamore again. Atlan says, oh my God, I saw that movie. Okay, Atlan and Melinda, you both watched it. So, how does the movie end? How does, and mind you, the translation of the title is very wrong in English. In English, it's called High Heels, but the original title is Tacones Lejanos. And Tacones Lejanos plays with the duality of high heels, but what in reality it means, literal translation is far away heels. And why? Because the key factor in this movie where the daughter is not in a good relationship with the mother leaves her, but then she comes back after many years. The mother is an artist, very egocentric. The daughter always wanted the love of the mother, but never really got the love of the mother. And she says to the mother, when the mother has her comeback, she says, you know, mother, I always loved you so much. And when I was a little girl, and you would go out in your clubs performing and singing your songs, and you would tuck me into bed, you know, to sleep, and you would be all dressed up with your beautiful hair and your beautiful makeup and your high heels, and you would give me a good night's kiss, and you would leave through my door. You would turn the lights off, you would leave, you would walk down the corridor of the home towards the door. I would hear your heels going further and further and further in the distance. That's why Tacones Lejanos, far away heels. And she said, I could not fall asleep. I would be awake in bed waiting for you all night until I did not hear those heels back in the apartment, and I would hear them walking back towards me. And only then could I have the peace to fall asleep. And this is something she says. And we're at the end of the movie now, guys, and the mother has a really difficult, she has a heart disease and she's dying. There's no medicine that can save her, but she doesn't want to tell her daughter that because she doesn't want her daughter to worry about her, because the mother is really trying to come back to the daughter. Nick says, yeah, far away heels, you are far away, the fireman. Yeah, listen, yeah, everything's connected in some way. But, and this is this thing that gets me about the end of High Heels, because finally the daughter finds out that the mother is going to die. There's no medicine. Her heart is so sick, she's going to die. And so the mother is in her deathbed, and she calls for her daughter to come to her. And so we have the scene where the mother is laying in bed and she kind of calls her daughter to come to her. And a lot has happened in this movie. There's been a homicide as well, and the daughter actually killed somebody, but the mother wants to take the blame to save the daughter. So the mother touches the gun to put her fingerprints on the gun, and testifies and says to the police that she killed the guy because she wants to save her daughter. But anyway, so the daughter comes into the room. The mother is kind of calling her in, and she hugs her mother and she says, thank you for putting the fingerprints, on. And she says, I never got a chance to tell you this about the high heels and everything. And as she's talking to her mother, she's trying to tell her that she was always running after her. She was always trying to catch up with her mother to be able to have her love, to be with her. And as she's telling her these last words, she looks at her mother, and her mother is dead. I get goosebumps. She realizes that even in that moment, she did not get a chance to catch her mother, because her mother passed away before Rebecca. Come on. Her mother passed away before Rebecca had a chance to tell her that story, how much she loved her. Her mother left her even then, before there was a resolution. And what Pedro Almodovar does is incredible. Pedro, he's such a, this scene is played out. It's like a total shot. You see the bed. Pedro uses beautiful colors. He plays with the blues and the red hues, a lot of red and a lot of blue in that scene. And Rebecca is hugging the mother, and the mother is so frail, Marisa Paredes, one of the most incredible actresses you will ever see. And Victoria Abril acting Rebecca, both of them incredible actresses. She hugs her. And she's like, Mom, 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 Mom. But the mother is not reacting, and she's dead. And Rebecca just falls on her mom and cries and cries. And this goes on forever. And just slowly, no music, nothing. Silence and the weeping of a daughter over the dead mother. And the camera slowly fades to black. And that's the end of the movie. Almodovar does not give you a resolution. He doesn't, he shows you this is life. You do not get a chance to say goodbye. You don't, because it doesn't happen for everybody. This is not a Hollywood movie. Happy endings are for movies, but this is reality. As beautiful as I portrayed it to you, they're all dressed magically, they're styled magnificently, they act incredibly, the story is beautifully written, beautifully, everything is beautiful and dreamlike, and yet there's so much sadness, so much pain, solitude. Um, that movie's incredible. That language resonates with me. Lynch is very similar to Pedro. And I remember there was this one time where they were both nominated for an Oscar, and Pedro won. And you know, they're kind of a little bit of rivals. They make fun of each other, but in a playful way. They respect each other very much. But David and Pedro, they have a sort of a kind of a, there's some friction there because they're both aware of the fact that they're both really great artists. Anyway, oh, so a lot of comments. Atlan says, I remember a woman walking with high heels and it reminded her of her mother. Yes, when she's looking through the window because she's in this like subterranean, whatever you call it, apartment, like really cheap. And she like looks through and there's a woman passing by. It's such a beautiful scene. Almodovar is incredible. Gloria says, Laura was displaced to Odessa as a sign that she would kill this guy dead on her couch, in my opinion. I don't know, but that's again maybe too simple. You know, like there's more meaning to it. This guy, who is this guy on this armchair? Who is he? Melinda says, it's like Cooper will never save Laura. No, he will never save Laura. He can't. There's nothing to save. She's energy. She's pure energy. You have to understand. You cannot save her because it's she's not to be saved. She's to be kept vibrant. She's to be fed so that, you know, fed, this sounds awkward, but she needs to radiate that light and that energy. And she always has to find a way to get back to the light. And when she finds the way back to the light, darkness will fall upon her again. And then she has to find the way to the light again. That's how she stays dynamic. And this is great analysis. It really is the way of Lynch, that type of storytelling. Yeah, thank you so much. It is. Mira says, I watched the movie Little Girl Who Lived Down the Lane. Both of the girl's parents were dead, and she killed her house-owned son with poison. Plus the house-owned got killed by mistake. Melinda says, oh, I get the last Inside Sycamore, I think. There's hope of peace, but it never happens. Well, I can't say anything about Sycamore just yet, because it's not over yet. There's a lot. Can't say anything else. Mira says, she went into the basement and the door fell on her head. Eileen says, I haven't watched your series yet, Inside Sycamore. I have to. I mean, it's very abstract. It's very experimental. You know, I'm just so happy that anybody watches it because for YouTube standards, Inside Sycamore is something people just don't understand really. But I understand why people why some people wouldn't understand it. But that's okay because a lot of people follow me for totally other reasons. I don't force anybody to watch it. You know, it's just, if you want a different type of Super Dacob, you go watch Inside Sycamore because it's a different facet of my personality. Mira says they are in the other world. Are you talking about the little girl from down the lane that lived down the lane? Or something else? But yeah. So guys, I mean, wow. I did 3 videos today. Atlas says that Mira Jefferson loved that movie. It shows how she had to survive as a child of 12. Jodie Foster killed it. Mira says Cooper and Carrie. Oh, they're in another world. They're in another, I mean, I think they're just in another energy pattern and it's all going to change and shift yet again. You know, it's a loop. Energy does not die. energy just transforms, but it stays energy. Melinda says, you're amazing for these videos today. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I'm telling you guys, it's been like 4 hours. I've been like live streaming. I don't know. Sometimes it just gets you, you know, and then you just go for it. And today was one of those days because I know tomorrow I can sleep. It's my only day off. So I'm like super thrilled. You know, I get to do all this and I get to make a nice dinner. You know, I'm going to, after this is done, I'm going to cook myself up something really nice to eat. And then I'm going to watch some nice, actually, okay. This is what I'm going to watch today, and I'm going to give you guys homework if you want, so we can talk about it next time. I did not mention one particular director, movie maker, and I have a lot of respect for it. He's like number one on my list, higher than David Lynch, really. Because as much as I love David Lynch, you know, for me, it's all about Twin Peaks, really. And I watched all David Lynch's movies, but Twin Peaks gets me like no other of his creations. But anyway, and the one and only is Orson Welles. Orson Welles has been so abused by the system, but he was such a visionary. People loved him. He's like, Marlene Dietrich acted for free for him because she loved him so much. So I'm going to make myself dinner. Well, it's a bit early for dinner, but anyway, I'm gonna make myself dinner. I'm gonna eat it later, and I'm going to watch Touch of Evil by Orson Welles. Orson Welles' Touch of Evil. So if you want, you could also watch it. We could talk about that tomorrow during Twin Peaks, because Touch of Evil also has some incredible stuff that can be relatable to Twin Peaks. And on another note, another director I love and respect so much is John Cassavetes, and the number one movie, the movie I would put on my like 10 movies to save list is Opening Night by John Cassavetes. And then you could see how Pedro Almodovar was inspired by John Cassavetes, because Pedro Almodovar's All About My Mother opens with an homage to John Cassavetes' Opening Night. He refilmed the same, Nick says, A Woman Under the Influence. Brilliant. But still, Opening Night, Jenna Rollins. Of course, Jenna was married to John, but Jenna delivers such a portrayal. Oh my God. So anyway, Touch of Evil, I'm going to watch that after dinner, and we can talk about that tomorrow if you're in the mood. Melinda loved Opening Night. Opening Night, brings me to tears every time. Well, All About My Mother by Pedro Almodovar, he won an Oscar as Best Foreign Movie for that movie, begins with Opening Night, but filmed in his own way. Atlan asked me, what am I cooking? I'm super simple. I'm literally the guy next door these days. I'm going to make pasta with the sauce, with the special sauce that I make, with scallions and a lot of olives and a lot of Italian tomatoes, very, very red tomatoes. But the pasta I make is a very particular pasta. It's the thinnest spaghetti. They're not even called spaghetti. They're capellini size 1, which is, they're like hair thin. That's my favorite pasta. Nick says, I love food. Oh, Nick, you're so sweet. Adlan says, what sauce? I just said what sauce. Am I online? I don't know. I think I'm still online though. The sauce is like a red sauce. It's like a tomato sauce with olives, with scallions that I cut fresh, and I mix that with the sauce. So like, it's very oniony, but because I saute them in a way, you don't get that aftertaste of onion, but they're very, very, very healthy for you. So yeah, it's a very simple dish, really, but I just love it very much. Yeah. So Etalon Beat says, Glorious Stations, Cooper tried solving this puzzle several times. We see his last try before really solving everything. But did he really solve everything? We don't know. And Nick asks, 300-second question, is it future or is it past? Melinda says, angel hair. Oh, angel hair is the name of the pasta. I don't know. Capellini. You got to look for the translation. Melinda wants to trade dishes, food. Atlan says, so making that tonight with some Merlot and watching the movies you recommend. Oh, fabulous. Yes, I would love Merlot, but I'm allergic to red wine. But I can drink some white wine. Mira Jefferson says, order the Laura Palmer audiobook. Okay, so you mean The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer read by Cheryl Lee? Or do you mean something else? Pasta is my number one, sushi is my second. Melinda says, yeah, Zadlan, me too. So we're all going to watch Touch of Evil tonight. Woo! Oh, but guys, be careful. There are 3 versions of Touch of Evil. Be sure to watch the one, because you see, Hollywood was such a bitch to Orson Welles. They took the movie away from him and they slaughtered it. They didn't ask for his permission. They took another director to reshoot some scenes to add into the movie. It was so heartbreaking. But Walter Murch re-edited it according to Orson Welles' notes as much as he could, because a lot of the footage was lost forever. But there is a kind of, they call it the director's cut, even though we're still missing some scenes. But you should watch the director's cut that's been re-edited by Walter Murch, an incredible film editor. WALTER So if you get a chance to choose which version of Touch of Evil you're watching, try to watch that one, because that's the closest to the vision of Orson Welles. It is easy. Yeah, Melinda. Yes, it is, because that's considered the most true, authentic version. Andre says, I'm starving now. Gotta go eat some Mediterranean toasts. Enjoy the meal, man, and nice stream. Thanks for answering my stupid questions. I'm gonna watch UFC 216. I know I'm the only fan here. Andre, first of all, none of your questions were stupid. Don't ever think that. Don't ever underestimate yourself. They were legit questions. Very sane, very sober questions. Melinda says, is it easy to find that version? Oh, we just said it. Yes, yes, I think it is. I mean, it's also available on Blu-ray, on DVD, everywhere. Yeah, so let's end it with this. With Etalon says about Laura, yes, or about Cooper and Laura, or Cooper and Carrie Page. Yes, he solves everything because we see Judy trapped in the lodge in episode 2 after the Laura scream. Judy trapped in the lodge? Huh. Or you mean in the glass box? Because I never saw Judy, I mean, the mother or the experiment figure in the lodge. And whoever was banging on the door when Cooper was with Naido, she said mother, but we don't know. Oh, Etalon says Judy is the white horse. Okay. If Judy is the white horse, yes, the white horse was in the Black Lodge. True. After the scream. But then again, the toy white horse was also in Odessa, outside of the Black Lodge. On the fireplace. Also very symbolic. Why was it on a fireplace? You know what I mean? Anyway. But yeah. Melinda asks, what time will the video be tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe like we did the pumpkin thing last week. Around, maybe, should we do it around noon-ish New York time? But I'm going to post it on Twitter. So follow me on Twitter, guys, if you want. Super Dacob all spelled together. I'm also on Instagram, Super Dacob all spelled together. Snapchat, Super Dacob all spelled together. Also on Facebook, Super Dacob all spelled together. And thumb up this video. Show me the love. Or subscribe to my channel as well. Yeah, let's say around noon New York time, and then we could make a video talking about Touch of Evil and Orson Welles. Oh my God, this is becoming like our little film club society, something. I guess it's just gonna be like the 4 of us, but whatever. It might be fun, But I'll tweet it out before I'm ready, because I got to get ready. But thank you guys all for tuning in. This was super long. This is one of the longest Twin Peaks videos I've ever made, but it's been a blast talking to all of you. And also, let's not forget, actually, tomorrow I wanted to do Nick's 301 questions about Twin Peaks. You know what I mean? Wait, Nick says if you do it at that time, I won't be able to watch. But wait, Nick, at that time we might do the Orson Welles Touch of Evil. But I have to do the 301 questions when you're online, obviously. I'm not going to do that when you're not there. So Nick, you can tell me when you can, and then I'll try to make it happen. But just don't forget I have school, so it's really hard for me. Sometimes I'm very tired also, and I can't do it like I can't make videos every day. I mean, I had a cold this week, so it was really hard for me this week. So I'm kind of, catching up now. 3 videos in one day. I've never done this before. I'm on such a high now because it's like so amazing to get all the love from you. It just gives me like, woo, I feel all bubbly now. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, right? Atlan, thumbs up, guys. Hello. Thumb it up. Share the love. See you soon. Wait, should we do the dream? Yeah, here we go. Our dream filter. And when we have a dream filter, obviously, everybody remember to tune in tomorrow. And remember what the fireman and the giant said. There will be a season 4. Love you all. Goodbye.